Hey, chatting with Cooper audience, how are you guys doing this week? Today we're going to cover a little bit about success and some of those ideas that people have and trying to put it all together. Let's go. I've had a number of conversations throughout the week of people and how they do things and why they do things and trying to be better at it and talk to people about how to improve just normal day-to-day stuff. Well, let me start out with this. In order to be successful, you cannot start your day out, your ideal out, your thinking process with I can't or I won't. Enough said about that. So when you look at things that you're going to do as far as research goes, in today's world we have such a fast-paced society with everything at our fingertips, with the internet, and we've lost track of talking to individuals in the industry and businesses, no matter what business that you're in. So what I'm going to discuss today is, looking about success and how it's developed. First of all, let's look at the idea of success. The idea of success of creating an outline of where you want to go, having goals and ideas in order to get there. And I would suggest taking that outline and putting it down on paper so that when you have those days that you don't know what you're following, and taking it from paper and putting it onto a whiteboard so that you might see it every day, it'll help you reach and obtain the goals that you're looking for. I mean, the goal that you set today could be, I want to buy a new car, or I want to graduate from college, or I want to have straight A's, or I want to better my financial situation. Well, in order to do all those things, you have to have some idea in order to do that. And then also surround yourself with people that are supportive of what you're doing. If you're looking at support and how the definition of support and how to look at it, look at support of individuals that are pushing forward, better educating themselves. They have the idea of let's try, let's work on it. If they have the idea of let's quit and I can't, you might want to separate yourself from individuals that have that type of thinking process or continued action. Because unfortunately, when you surround yourself around individuals like that, they just undermine your ideas and activities of what you're looking for and how to successfully reach your goals. Also, when you look at the functional downside of setting goals, sometimes when you set a goal and you don't reach them, you have a minor level of depression that sets in that makes you not want to continue on. Part of the thinking process of when something like that happens is you have to have those downs in order to rebound and make better gains. So what we need to do is also, in reference to being successful, is teach ourselves and go through the avenues of teaching yourself how to be successful. Part of the situation of teaching yourself how to be successful is you have to learn how to have a backbone and deal with adversity. Seems like part of our society is teaching each other and emphasizing to each other how not to be successful, how to emphasize and to latch on to things that are deteriorating to what you're looking at doing and what you're trying to achieve. So when you look at those types of things, like you're in sales and you walk up to a sales group and they say no. You go back to your associates and they all start talking about how bad the situation is and how tough it is out there. Well, unfortunately, when you get together with that group is going to hold you back temporarily because all of you are dealing with that difficulty at the same time. So oftentimes what you have to do is you have to separate yourself from that difficulty side and go to the other side of the coin, or finding a niche group of success. No matter where the case may be, search it out ahead of time so that therefore you can actually reach out to it as you need. You see a lot of good companies put together good social networking groups to help people stay on the positive route, but they have motivational type things of winning awards and those types of things that actually motivate people. But the hard part about those wins and motivational pieces is that if a person doesn't achieve those motivational goals, they are in the left out goal. They might be working just as hard and just not have had the side that most people don't pay attention to, the luck side. But as I said to an individual just recently, sometimes in life you have to create and make your own luck. And creating and making your own luck is part of just due diligence. When you look at the due diligence side of making your own luck, is sometimes tough. Sometimes it's cold calling. Sometimes it's getting off your chair and walking out, knocking on doors, and asking somebody to if they want to do business with you. Sometimes it's finding information out that makes you a better at your job. Educational stages. High school, college, post-college. Some of those pieces of information are beneficial long term. A lot of times you'll end up with a group of individuals that say education, it has no value. Well, oftentimes when you hear that from a non-successful person or person that is successful at their own range, is a lot of times a person will say those educational streams are not valuable because they've not participated in themselves and they've not witnessed the gains and benefit that those sections of education provide for the individual. So when you look at, just for example, just passing on your own information, or successful of a program, or successful of a post. Nowadays, an individual will look at their success as, oh, how many likes did I get on my post, or how many likes or people have interest in that. Unfortunately, to the individuals that do that, that's not success. That's acknowledgement. And there's a difference between acknowledgement and success. Acknowledgement is pretty cool because you get a pat on the back and somebody's agreeing with you or looking at what you have. But you have the downside of that, is that when people aren't acknowledged, then they are frustrated and feel bad. Well, part of what we need to help teach each other is how to deal with adversity. How to not take in some of the negative things that we take in, and we glob onto that negativity, we hold on to it, and whenever we have a moment, we want to go back to that negativity and just glob onto that as if it's going to help us. This is not a true situation. The hard part about it is you look at some of the youth today and not being taught how to deal with other people. Not being taught that if somebody says something bad about you, say to them, thanks for the compliment. Thanks for paying attention to me enough that you had to try to find something to make yourself feel better than me. Thanks for the compliment. Because that's all of what's being done. When you look at some of the situations where people talk about, well, I was bullied. I think we all experience some of that process of being bullied, where a person calls you out of your name, a person calls you something out of jealousy, some person says something to you because you're doing something that they're not, or they're trying to stifle or stop you. I have a person that close to my family where she's working in a company, and one of her friends says, well, I quit here because this company's not going to be around very long. But so you get mentally have that placed in your head, you start thinking about it, you actually quit. Well, that person actually stays there and they retire from the company. Where was the statement come from? What was the derivative? Because of jealousy of the other person's advancements, the other person's due diligence, the other person's work. Well, now that person's out of the way, so hopefully they will get the advancements. So you see a lot of things that are said like that that stifle and discourage a person. So when you look at success, the success is truly due diligence. Success is not paying attention to the negative side and allowing yourself to continue to do the positive side, doing the work that you have to do. Sometimes that work that you have to do is tedious, like if you're in sales, you're making those cold calls and you haven't gotten a person to say yes to what you're selling. Guess what? There's an old saying that, you know, thanks for the 25. So every single time that you get a no, you're closer to getting that $25 that's going to pay you your bills and whatnot. So you have to weed through the no's in order to get to the yeses. But the more no's you weed through, the closer you are to the yeses. So you can never give up. So when you look at success, success is based on due diligence, education, and your own personal effort. If you're not putting the effort in, you can't expect somebody to do it for you. And oftentimes when you fall into that prey side of letting somebody else do it for you, you end up shortchanged. You end up not succeeding. You end up stagnant because the effort of your effort is the only effort that's going to be dependent. You're not going to be able to depend on. So you're going to have to surround yourself with those that are supportive. You're going to have to remember that you have to do the work yourself, and you can't quit. You look to educate yourself. You look to surround yourself with better entities of education and mentorship, and you also work at a positive network. Those are some of the quick examples of what a person can do and think about. Structurally change your mindset, educating yourself, YouTube it. You know, just to try to be a better person in whatever aspect that you're looking for, whether it be sports, whether it be school education, whether it be your job, whether it be performance, or whether it be promotions that you want. How do you want to become successful? Find out those that have done things that are successful, copy their outline, plug in your information. This will help you develop your own social skills, your own network working skills in order to be successful in just about any industry. That's Chatting with Cooper. Thanks for joining in. We'll talk to you soon.